When deep sleep falls on you, there's a world of dreams waiting to be unwrapped. It's a puzzle waiting to be solved, a dream unfolding, a parable of the night.
Where are these messages coming from? And how do we unlock the truth found in these messages?
You don't have to be a guru to understand them. You just need to be connected to the source.
Join us on a journey to unwrap the mysterious messages found in divinely inspired dreams. This is Dreams Unwrapped.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dreams Unwrapped. Today, we unfold a dream about a white wolf. Have you ever had a reoccurring dream? And what does that mean? But first, let me introduce you to everyone. First, we've got the phenomenal Faith Frankenfield.
Hey, everyone.
And then we've got the sensational Sebastian Son.
Howdy, guys.
And the very enlightening Thomas Schwabe.
Hello.
And we got my friend Brittany here. This is her dream that she's going to tell us about, what we are going to try to unwrap for her. And by the way, my name is Tina Winters. So let's get started.
My name is Brittany, and I live in Los Angeles. I love animals, and I do animal rescue, mostly cats. I do TNR with Tina, who is one of you dream experts, which is trap, neuter, release, where we take feral cats off the street and get them fixed and then release them back so they can't have more babies. And the reason I was interested in this, in learning about my dream, is because I've been having it for most of my life, and I thought it'd be interesting to finally understand why.
Welcome, Brittany.
Thank you.
Do you want to go ahead and tell us about your dream?
Sure. So I've been having this dream for literally as long as I can remember, since I was a very young child. And it takes place in my childhood home, the first place that I ever lived. And this home was on a cul-de-sac. And the dream is that I wake up and I'm in the living room of that home, and something draws me to the window, and I walk over to the window and I see on the far end of the cul-de-sac, or the far end of the street, a white wolf, which typically isn't a scary thing to me. I love animals, but for whatever reason in this dream, it always terrifies me. And I look away, or I get distracted from something, and then when I look back out the window, it's right there next to me, right in front of me, and scares me really bad. And then I always wake up, and I've been having this dream for probably 25 to 30 years.
Did you start having it at a particular time or an age in your life?
I remember being about 5, I think, when I first started having the dream, because it would wake me up and I would scream and freak out and just have, not necessarily like a night terror, but it would always wake me up, and it always scared me, and it would sit with me. One of those things that just really made me uncomfortable. And then it stopped happening as frequently as I got older, but it still happens every so often. And it's always the same dream. And I have a very photographic memory of that home because of that dream, which I think we moved out of there when I was about 6. So.
Did you have a lot of nightmares growing up, or was this kind of the only nightmare that you'd have regularly?
I wouldn't say a lot, but I had them enough to the extent where I stopped watching horror films, because those will still give me nightmares. But what I would consider a nightmare would be more of something that was more like terror. Whereas this doesn't feel like a nightmare, but it would always just be very unsettling.
What stood out for me was, I think that the fact it's a recurring, right? So when you have a recurring dream, typically it's like a snooze button on an alarm. So like if you change your behavior, or you pick something, and usually it stops ringing. But because there's something that's happening over and over, that is saying, you know what, you need to do something, or if you don't fix it, it'll keep ringing. So there's an issue that's been happening since your childhood, and because you keep going back to the childhood home. So something about choices made, or things that you were exposed to when you were a child, that's affecting now the present, and potentially the future.
Does my whole life count?
Well, it depends, on what you do.
Right.
Sometimes, I think it's also interesting that you're looking through a window, and sometimes that has to do with looking through the future. And it's like this white wolf has something to do with your future and a perception that you have. It could be a perception about your family, or what is happening in your childhood. And it seems like emotionally it set the scene for some things that you've believed over the years. You continued, and I feel like having this dream recurring is your way of needing to work out these beliefs and these perceptions you've had, and they keep coming up because Creator is trying to let you know, hey, this is something that you need to pay attention to, and these beliefs are something that you need to address to be able to resolve some of these thoughts.
Okay.
Because you're in your childhood home, this is an issue from that time period, and you fear that it will enter into your life now. But ever since you were a little girl, like the white wolf is an Arctic wolf. It's part of the gray wolf, which is, the white wolf is like rare now, and it lives among the rocks. It's out in the Arctic. It lives among the rocks and in caves. So I feel like that since you were a little girl, that first of all, you're very perceptive, that you have a spiritual knowing about things. That's why God speaks to you in these dreams. And you're not afraid of hard work. You've learned to carry on even when times get rocky and unstable. And the issue from your childhood aren't just off in a distance, but they come and they stare at you right in your face. Like first it's off in the distance, then next thing you know, it's in the window, right in your face. Then next thing you know, it's in the living room with you. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's easy to notice, but you're not sure but maybe you haven't noticed it. It's like a warning dream that you are to investigate and evaluate what this issue might be before it does get into your life. And it's important for you to figure it out. And I feel like God says that He wants to help you to see it and to eradicate it from your life, because your future is affected by the choices that you make now.
It was around the time, something you said made me think that it was around the time that my parents were getting divorced. So maybe that had something to do with the looking out the window towards the future, or an issue that was coming up in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That really has affected you.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and sometimes a wolf is there to steal something. It's there to steal or take something that's precious. And it could be that it's taking away this hope from you. And as you talk about your parents getting divorced, it could be a perception about love. It could be a perception about family and what happens in broken relationships. And so I feel like this is something that Creator wants you to resolve so that you could accept those things. Sometimes we start to form subconscious or unconscious beliefs based on things like this, or based on events that happen in our life, and then they affect our decision making moving forward. And so being able to resolve some of these heart issues with love and family, and if there's anything lingering, any lingering perceptions that are subconscious or conscious about your parents or about spirituality, I think this is something that Creator's bringing you up to seek the truth about, and to see what might be underneath the surface for you to take a look at.
You told them I don't want a husband. Is that right?
No, I totally did not. So this is so like God is talking to you. Ha ha, girl. Ha ha. Because I totally did not. Totally.
Maybe that's what it is then. My anti-marriage stance. Maybe that's what it's telling me to resolve this.
It's okay to not want to be married if it's not because of trauma. You know, or it's your destiny and purpose. And so sometimes we make decisions out of hurt or pain, and it always comes from a better place when it's out of truth or it's out of hope. And
it's definitely about trauma for me, for sure. 100%. My stepmom, who's not my stepmom anymore, but she was when I was a child, came back into my life just very randomly, not just a few years ago. And she asked if I was married. I'm from Texas, and they all get married very young there, living in LA, not so much. And I said, no, I'm not married. And she goes, I'm not surprised. You'll probably never get married with the childhood we gave you. I said, probably right. So.
I just blocked those negative words.
Yeah. I'll receive it.
Yeah, only, sometimes we try to put our own beliefs on people and our own desires and wants, but no one can tell you what truth is beside the spirit of truth. And that comes from spirit. It can't ever come from someone else's desires for you. That needs to be placed in your heart.
That makes sense.
This thing that basically she saw when she was younger, this white wolf, how gradually this thing had, from the outside of her, had ended up coming in closer to her life. I just really feel like it's been repeated already, that it's an area of issue having to do with childhood. Like, I believe it's like something having to do like with the childhood fear, of some type of fear that was originated outside of you, but eventually was gaining some kind of access in closer into your heart, and that it's an area that hasn't yet, as a repeated dream, it hasn't yet been resolved. So I'm kind of repeating, but I believe that, the Creator, He wants to be able to enable you to gain authority over this thing, so that it doesn't dominate you or influence the direction of your life as it is now and where it's going. So I just felt like just to encourage you that, you have the ability inside of you to change the outcome of this, and I just want to encourage you that you're going to be able to change the outcome of it. Just the fact that you've had it reoccurring, it's also revealing to you that you have an ability that you can overcome it, and you'll be able to not allow it to direct the course of your life, your future course.
Yeah, when you resolve this, it's just kind of like you have like weights on you. So if you get rid of this, resolve this, then you're going to be able to run faster. So they're just holding you back.
And it is really interesting, for me, my recurring dream always had to do with snakes.
Oh. I have clinical phobia of snakes. So.
I did too. And once I dealt with some of these issues in my heart, those snake dreams went away. I just needed to kind of uncover, and snakes have to do with lies and perceptions that we believe in. So I really had to dig in and seek truth, and because sometimes our perception can cloud what's true, and we just need that alignment to be able to know truth. And once I dug into that, I haven't had a snake dream. I don't remember when the last time I had a snake dream was. So it's just really interesting how the dreams get resolved when we pay attention to them and we really look into the meaning behind them and uncover whatever is going on subconscious and bring it to the conscious level.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Do you have any questions for us?
I don't think so. I guess I have one question. So I'm not scared of wolves. Like I said, I'm an animal lover, except for snakes. Do not love snakes. But still, I mean, I see wolves, actually when I was a kid, my aunt took my brother and I to a nighttime zoo class, which was like once a week. We went to the zoo in Houston, and we got to see the animals at night, and the nocturnal animals. And I remember seeing the wolves and just being fascinated by them. So they don't scare me, and that was around the time that I was having those dreams more often too. So I'm not scared of wolves necessarily, but sometimes I'll see them in media or TV movie or something, and they scare me because of that dream. Mm-hmm. But it's strange that that's the case. So do you think that will go away at some point too?
Well, it's more about, they say dog is man's best friend kind of stuff, like we domesticated dogs so long ago. So it's a metaphor about how dogs are like supposed to be your friends, and a wolf looks like a dog and can be like a dog, but it isn't a dog. So the dream is about how you see something in the past that you think it's really good, but may not be good. It may pose as a friend or friendly, but it's not. So it's not about like you personally like wolves. It's about how the relationship that humans have with dogs and wolves. The dogs are domesticated and wolves are not.
Yeah, the wolf never feels necessarily threatening to me, but it doesn't feel not threatening either. It's just sort of ominous, I guess.
Caution, at the same time the awe of how beautiful of an animal it is, and respect for how beautiful it is too. I think it's kind of natural to have a little bit of both of that, and I hope that when you see it, I think sometimes we get triggered by trauma, and sometimes dreams can be traumatic. So I think once you resolve the trauma of that, or if there is any trauma surrounding it will be a lot more comforting. I have a friend that has lion dreams, and lions are usually really good in dreams, but in his dream, the lions are always attacking him or going after him. And so, they're definitely to be feared, but in a reverent way where they can do damage. And it's true, but they're also really beautiful animals at the same time.
And I feel like God speaks to you with the animals because that's your language too. He's trying to communicate to you in your own language.
Makes sense.
And it gets your attention,
You do know I love animals.
Brittany, what do you do?
I work for a skincare company, and I also work for a real estate company. And then with the animals, if you can hear it right now, I foster kittens, and they are crazy right behind me, distracting me.
Show them one. Show them how cute one of them is.
Well, this is Dr. Dre sitting next to me. He's not a kitten.
Dr. Dre. Oh!
Since he was 3 days old.
He's so beautiful.
Thank you. He's like, why did you just wait?
He got his debut.
Boxes right now, so.
Is there anything else you wanted to ask us before we end?
I don't think so.
Okay.
A lot. It makes a lot of sense. Things that I hadn't considered before.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your dream with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we bless you and your future, and bless you to have good dreams and revealing dreams, and just to continue in your love of animals. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brittany.
All right. I'll see you later.
Bye, Brittany.
Bye. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.